Hey, how's it going, everybody? We don't even need an intro tonight because it's me and Great Legend. Unfortunately, real life and consequences have struck for the rest of the people who's supposed to be joining us tonight. So it's just gonna be me and Legend talking about some Crisis, some TV shows, some movie trailers. So big thanks to those of you joining us. We got Samuel David in the chat. How's it going, Samuel? Thanks for waiting patiently and hopping in there, but I've already grandstanded and hot dogged long enough. I got to introduce my co-host here tonight. We got the Great Legend Show. How's it going, man?
Man, Carson, I'm coming at you live. You and just Samuel David, but we're live.
Yeah.
We're talking outside the issues, man. It is going to be a good time because, Carson, your initials, it says it all. CW, man. Yeah, CW. So many shows. Riverdale, Black Lightning, Batwoman, Supergirl, Flash. I mean, the list goes on and on. Arrow, man. You can't leave out Arrow. And of course, Black Lightning, man. Jefferson Pierce, man.
I've started watching the show on Netflix called The 100. That's like their summer fill-in show.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad. I actually kind of enjoy that with someone that works like you should just check this out. I mean, it's kind of off the rails actually after a while. So we know a thing or two about being off the rails. So
dude, amen to that. Off the rails will be off rails Friday night, man. We got people off the rails. They're already puking their guts out, and it ain't even Friday yet. That's why all the other three panel members, Mark, Kat, Chad, they're all puking their guts out. But you never know when a filibuster will be coming near you because his name is Drew Manchu.
TiVo, Lords of Longlegs, thank you so much for joining us, man. He says we left out one of the best, Supernatural. Yeah, that's for sure. Supernatural. That's like one of their big legacy shows they still got going on over there.
Final season.
Charles McLaughlin in the chat, too. What's going on, man?
Yeah, Charles, man, what are you up to, brother? They have all the good shows. CW sure does, man.
All right, before we get into the full swing of things, we got a couple plugs we need to get out of the way first. So if you guys caught us earlier on the Comic Core, we did a live stream with Edwin from Strictly Comics. So this Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, that's Sunday, December 15th, we'll start a series of auctions on Edwin's channel. That's at Strictly Comics with an X. He is going to host the annual 2019 Hero Initiative auction. So all proceeds for this auction will be going to the Hero Initiative charity. For more information on what the Hero Initiative does, definitely go to heroinitiative.org. But that auction will be on his channel at 7 p.m. Eastern. He also recommended following him at Strictly Comics on Instagram because he will be promoting the books that will be sold on that auction on his Instagram on the weeks to come. So he's probably promoting the 15th right now on his Instagram, and next week he'll be promoting the auction for the 22nd and so on and so forth for the 29th. So definitely look out for this Heroes Initiative auction. It was one of the most phenomenal events that happened last year via the Great Legends channel. Legend, I know you're dying to say something about this auction, so go ahead.
Dude, I love what the auction stands for, the Hero Initiative 2019 Comic Book Community Hero Initiative. I mean, Edwin hosted last year the very first YouTube comic book community Hero Initiative live auction. We did it over on the Great Legend Show, but due to the Legends back, he just can't go no mo. So Edwin has taken it upon himself to host it on his own channel, and I'm so proud of Edwin. I'm so excited for him because his channel is growing. He's already over 1,000 subs. He has affordable auctions every Sunday night, usually at 6 Central, actually 7 Central, but they're starting the Hero Initiative auction a little earlier this Sunday. But I mean, Edwin is a comic book presser. He cleans comics. I mean, he's been to local shows in the Houston, Texas area. He cleans and presses comics for Chino Comics and More. You know, Chino's got Chino Comics and More has their own shop. I mean, and when you order books from Edwin, he has these beautiful, glossy, these are like postcard size. And, you know, on the back, you get one free press with 5 or more books. Or you could pick the free priority shipping. You get 2 free pressed with 10 books or more, or free priority shipping. And he'll even submit those books to CBS or CGC. You can follow him, like Carson said, you can follow him on Instagram at Strictly Comics with an X, and same Twitter handle. YouTube, youtube.com/Strictly Comics with an X. And you can find his page on Facebook as well. These are some of the books that he's worked on. He's worked on Hulk 181, Giant Size X-Men 1, ASM 300, Batman Adventures 12. He uses some of the best techniques there is to use in pressing and cleaning comics. So make sure you follow Edwin, and so you'll find out what cool books he's going to be introducing on each Sunday, because it's going to be 3 Sundays in a row. So, man, he's just got it all. Make sure you follow him, hit him up, and you'll be glad you did, because the Hero Initiative is one of those things that it's a great way to give back to those comic book creators that are in need.
Absolutely. So we got one more plug, because this is everyone's last day to participate in the Comic Core Smash hashtag contest. So if you guys have been living under a rock or just not watching Comic Core for whatever reason, I don't know. But anyway, this is your last day to put hashtag Comic Core Smash on any Comic Core video posted between November 10th and December 12th. So you can literally go back in time and post this hashtag on every single video, and for every single hashtag you put in those, you'll be entered into Drew Manchu's contest for this. Like, it's a huge, like, Incredible Hulk toy. It's very well articulated. It's a very cool, and he bought one for himself, opened it up, and played with it. But you're not getting that gross, nasty figure. You're getting a brand new in mint box from Drew Manchu, shipped right to your door, as he would say. So once again, this is the last day. So once this is uploaded, and you can use the comments, definitely put hashtag Comic Core Smash. I don't know who's in the lead right now. I imagine it's Gray Matter Hulk. He's definitely living up to his name. He wants that Hulk figure. So definitely hashtag Comic Core Smash on every video since November 10th up to today. And there will be a drawing tomorrow on Friday the 13th.
Dang.
Yeah, and that will determine the winner of the Hulk figurine.
Yeah, they can go back. Y'all can go back in, like Carson said, you can go back in time like Marty McFly and Doc Brown and go to town, because all you got to do is put that hashtag in the comments, and Drew's going to be doing a lot of copying and pasting, isn't he, Carson?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, there's probably got to be over 100 entries at this point. All right, so before we'll talk about the Ghostbusters trailer first coming up here in a second, but I need to get to this chat one more time.
I think they got this guy from 1983. Do you think he's ready for Ghostbusters?
Oh, I bet he is. But it's officially a Comic Core show. We got Chris Barrett in the chat. He says he's done with college for now, so big congratulations to Chris Barrett for making it through his college semester. Now all he has to worry about is getting through Comic Core University. Get his doctorate in thugonomics, I guess.
Yeah.
I know you like this next guy. We got Fish Tropic, my first subscriber ever, in the chat. How's it going, Fish?
I saw him live tonight, Carson. He was showing people how to heal the fish with certain fish medications.
Oh, look at this. We got from the Facebook side, the uncanny Kyle Walker, the Prince of New Zealand, is in the house.
One of the best right there. He loves those battle comics all the way from the UK, and that's what he read back in the day.
Nice. And then we got TiVo is saying, make sure you check out the charity auction. He's donating some strange items. I know he loves him some Doctor Strange.
I'll check it out. He's going to be donating Strange Tales 110. Of course, the big first appearance of Doctor Strange. So TiVo will be donating that while he's wearing the cape.
And then I know this guy, he's excited for that Ghostbuster trailer. We got Stay Puft 1983 making his way to the YouTube side, but we'll always say it every time for him. One of the best Instagrammers in the whole community. Definitely check out his Instagram. He knows what he's doing.
When he doesn't win the auctions, that's the face he gives.
All right. So without further ado, we'll give our quick thoughts on the Ghostbusters trailer. So if you guys haven't had a chance, there is a new Ghostbusters trailer out for the movie next year. It looks like it starred Paul Rudd and the kid from Stranger Things. So, Legend, I know you're a huge Ghostbusters fan. What did you think of this trailer?
Okay, I've got the Blu-ray of the first and second movie. Man, I love those movies growing up. I saw the very first one in the theater. It was freaking awesome. I was a little scared because it was just that library scene, and go figure, 35 40 years later, I'm working at one. But no, great movie. Love it. So the trailer, kind of around that farmhouse, kind of like small town feel to it. Kind of like almost if I was watching the It movie or the Stranger Things, kind of gave me that 80s vibe. It's that nostalgic vibe, when the kid went in there and he found some of his granddad's old gear and everything like that, and he brought it to Paul Rudd, which was the teacher, and Paul Rudd remembered the history that New York had of all the ghosts and things like that. And you kind of, they don't really say or anything, but I'm thinking, you think, Seawood, this could probably be like maybe Egon's grandkids or something? Or
yeah, I think that's definitely heavily implied in the trailer. I mean, like it's the granddaughter. She's like going through a closet, and they definitely see that jumpsuit that says Spangler on it. So, I would make a pretty good guess that little girl is somehow related to Egon Spangler.
I was watching it on my phone, so the screen was so small. I saw him pull the uniform out, but I couldn't read the name because the screen was small. But yeah, and I liked how they got the car, the Ecto-1, and they were driving around in the cornfields, doing I don't know if they're gonna imply this or do this because they just kind of drove in the cornfield, right? But what if they do donuts in the cornfield to kind of pay homage to all those UFO cornfield sightings? That would be fun, awesome. Oh man.
But yeah, I thought the trailer is pretty cool. It felt unconventional for a Ghostbusters movie, which I think is the perfect way to go at this point, especially after Girl Busters or whatever that movie ended up being called, like Ghostbusters Answer the Call or whatever. Unfortunately, no one picked up that phone.
Anyway, they didn't answer that phone.
No. But yeah, I feel like they needed to go a complete different direction after, that basically failure at the end of the day on that one. So it looks like they're doing that. My favorite part of that whole trailer was definitely a throwback to the action figures and stuff where they're driving around the Ecto-1 and it pops out. It's got like the little turret on the side where you pop out. It was like, oh my God, is that what that does? And then you see them later having to use it and everything. So I thought that was really awesome.
I think a lot of things with this movie is, a lot of the kids, the young kids, a lot of them are watching YouTube. So, of course, if you take the time and look through the lines of the reality, man, they bring it up on YouTube because that's a lot of kids, you see those spoof videos of this is what a floppy disk looked like or, stuff like that. So you get that kind of vibe to where these children need to know what was going on in the 80s. And I think that's so cool because in reality, that's what our young children do today. They don't know something like that's old. They'll look it up on the internet. So, I mean, it just perfect balance of just everything that a Ghostbuster fan and a nostalgia pop culture fan would love,
Oh,
way better than what Chris Barrett said, the Boob Busters. Chris Barrett.
I remember my first memory of Ghostbusters was you saw Ghostbusters 1 in the theater. My one I saw that there was Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
And I know people can be kind of critical of that one, but I still dug it though. I really marked out in the theater when they had to control the Statue of Liberty somehow, so they had to cover it up in the positive ooze. And then they had to get that NES controller that looks like the joystick one. It's the same one me and my brother had, but we got that with like the
NES Advantage, man.
Yeah, we had the NES Advantage for sure. So I was like, oh my God, it's the NES Advantage. They're using that for the Statue of Liberty. This is going to be great. So, seeing that through like whatever, 8 or 10 years old, however I was at the time, seeing that through little kid goggles was awesome.
That was a great show because it had the dude from, I think it was the kid from Porky's. I'm not really sure. One of the people from Porky's. Then it had the, was it Vigo or Vito?
Yeah, Vigo.
Yep. That actor was actually either set on the House or Senate or something like that. But he went on to have a career in movies and film, and he was a great just character actor. I don't know his real name or whatever, and I think he's gone too soon. But man, I loved it because the pink ooze looked so freaking cool under the city, and I was still just a young kid. So I put, of course, I love number 1 the better, but number 2 is just as good in my book, man. I love
and I always make the joke at work because I have to work retail and all that good stuff. So a lot of people know out there, and sometimes people just seem to be having a bad day. I'll just get on the make that joke to my coworkers like, that Ghostbusters ooze, it's flowing under the sewers today, and that's getting those negative vibes in the air. But I also expect those positive vibes. You got to play that music and get that bubbling.
You know, when we talk about these things, Carson, it's like you go to the old school, the negative, the positive, the monitor, the anti-monitor, the matter, the dark matter, you know, the antimatter. I mean, it's all about that yin and yang vibe when it comes to the good and the evil. And that's what you're going to get when we get some Ghostbusters Afterlife, man.
Oh, nice. Special shout out. We got Real Comic Book Talk in the chat. If you guys, we're going to cover Crisis tonight, but if you guys want to see some really good Crisis coverage, check out Real Comic Book Talk. They have been doing episode by episode their thoughts on Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I haven't watched part 3 yet because I've been busy all day. But parts 1 and 2 were amazing. I'm sure part 3 of the review is going to be great too. So definitely check out Real Comic Book Talk, and they like my hoodie too, so that's why I gave a thumbs up earlier.
I'm definitely going to be checking them out. I've been holding off Dan and Anthony and Al because I didn't want to watch any of them because me and my wife watched all 3 of them on the CW app last night. But definitely, if you want to see some great reviews of all the kick-ass shows that we like and what we're watching, you can go over to Real Comic Book Talk. 3 dudes from Baltimore, 3 of the best. We've met him in Baltimore. Drew's lucky because Drew lives in Baltimore, so he sees them periodically every now and then. But 3 great guys, and definitely a channel to subscribe.
Absolutely. And he's saying part 3 was a game changer, and yeah, we're definitely going to get into that. So I guess without further ado, we'll just go ahead and talk about part 1. So the Supergirl episode. I thought it was a strong start for the most part. My one criticism of the Supergirl episode was, and it's kind of goes throughout all 3 parts so far, and I know it's mainly probably CW budgetary reasons and the way they have contracts set up and things I don't know or we don't know, but I feel like in a lot of these episodes, they're having to shoehorn in specific characters, whether it be like they're contracted for so many episodes or they have to appear or what have you. But for the most part, I enjoyed seeing. It's always great to see the characters come together every single year in these crossovers, like when they had to, round up Flash, Oliver, and everybody else. But when it came to here's a subplot where Lena Luthor has to help out, which I did kind of like her subplot. But then they had the Legionnaire girl, which I don't watch Supergirl on the regular, so I don't know who the girl from Legion was, but she felt so shoehorned in along with I think it's Jimmy Olsen's sister or what have you. And I'm just like, wow, those characters, I guess that's their appearance for the week.
Yeah,
it felt so forced having them in that episode.
Supergirl, I'm not a big fan of that show anyways. My wife used to watch it when it was on NBC, when it used to be over. But Supergirl, I mean, the coolest part that I liked about it was you had the intro of the voice of the Monitor, and that's a lot of that was the same dialogue on issue 1 of Crisis on Infinite Earths by Marv Wolfman. So I loved that, how they, give Marv some love there. And then, of course, Earth 66, Burt Ward, man, classic cameo, walking the dog. And, you've heard my story about how I saw him at a con at Dallas Fan Expo years ago, and he was trying to sell me dog food. So, Burt Ward loves walking them dogs, man.
Yeah, I definitely thought the cameos were a lot of fun at the beginning, for sure. You had Burt Ward on Earth 66. It was probably the coolest one, let's be honest. And then you had Earth 89 with Robert Wool was character Knox from the Batman 89 movie. So pretty much probably the only guy they could afford to get. But hey, it's so cool.
They had that Teen Titans thing too in there.
Yeah, Earth
a little
9
quick thing.
For some reason, I still need to look that one up and figure out Earth 9. But it would have been nice to see the whole team. I'm not sure how logistically that all worked out, so that they only got Hawk and Jason Todd Robin.
Yeah.
So that's the most random combination. Because I don't know if you're caught up with Titans or not, but the finale doesn't exactly leave Hawk and Jason Todd Robin on the same team, basically. So I don't know how they even ended up with those two, or why they would pick those two over anyone else, because they're not even the main 4 Titans from season 1.
Dude, I know.
Nonetheless, it's so cool that they at least acknowledge that, hey, this DC streaming app universe, we're going to rope them in too. I would have loved to see Robot Man or Negative Man from Doom Patrol. I would have marked out for that big time.
I know you love your Doom Patrol, especially that Grant Morrison Doom Patrol.
Yes, I'm still reading through that. That's for sure. But yeah, they're in the same universe. They were in Titan season 1, so as far as I'm concerned, putting that Earth 9 in, they put Doom Patrol in there too.
And you saw on her Earth, they had one of those towers,
Yep.
Just like from the comic books. And they had the tower, and of course, they were defending the tower from the shadow dudes, which were in the comic as well. And did you get that feel like whenever they were all fighting and they were doing their little moves, and sometimes like they would do these corkscrew planches over like debris and stuff for no reason when they just hurtled over?
No.
But I got that, like, I felt that, that first Avengers movie in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of was getting that vibe from it. But dude, it was so cool to see him just kicking ass at the top of the tower. And what did you think about, and I hope I'm not jumping too far ahead, but dude, I was so Crisis. It was all awesome, man. I was just digging every moment of it. Did you see when Arrow, on monitor said, "We've lost this one. We got to go. We got to get the heck out of here." And so he's getting everyone else, teleporting them, but Oliver refused. He wanted to stay back. He wanted to give a little bit more time. And that was such an integral part of that storyline because, he just given more time, he was able to save like another billion. But I love the fact when he kept pulling out of the arrows out of the quiver, there was nothing left.
Yeah.
He dropped it. And he knew in his mind, that was his time to, sacrifice himself.
Yeah, he definitely had that symbolism of, they even put it in the trailer for almost every trailer they did for Christ. Yeah, symbolism of the actual bow hitting the ground in slow motion, indicating that Oliver's pretty much done at that point.
At that point, Carson, for me, CW does this to people, does this to human beings. And, it's some of that truth stuff, even in the commercials they play, especially around the holidays, they're always trying to do these like tear jerkers, man. I kind of started getting teary eyed. How about you, man?
A little bit. Like I said, usually I keep my eyes pretty dry. I know Ant from Real Comic Book Talk, he's put it in the shade. It's so heartbreaking. I know he's a big Oliver Queen fan. That had to be heartbreaking.
8 years, Carson. We had 8 years on that show. 5 of them on that goddamn island.
Right. I did have one hidden highlight I need to highlight in this whole like final fight scene, and I think you'll appreciate this one. So there's a part where the earth starts shaking or whatever, and all the characters have to do their selling basically. And there's one shot, it's Oliver and Mia Smoke. You got Oliver, who's the grizzled veteran, or Stephen Amell basically. This is his last big run. He's just like, I'm just here having some fun. And then you have Mia Smoke. I think it's played by Kat McNamara. She's brand new on the scene. She's trying to make a statement and everything. So when the earth starts shaking, Oliver's just like, yeah, there's earth shaking, all right. And then Kat, she's crouched down looking every direction like she's being shook by her shoulders. I'm like, it's some Dolph Ziggler level selling right there. So I actually watched like that scene twice. There was like a glitch on my CW app where it just re-aired. And I just like, I gotta watch that again. But go back and watch that, and it's some Dolph Ziggler level selling from Mia Smoke.
I'm definitely. I will watch the whole damn thing again before like the 4th and 5th. I may watch all 5 in a row.
I probably will too.
I just love that damn stuff, man. And man, I'm trying to remember what. Okay, so yeah, they bring him out on the table. Yeah, they're all upset. I'm upset. Brandy's just like whatever, because she hasn't watched Arrow in a long time. That's my wife, people. But yeah, then it just kind of cuts, and when the credits rolled, I thought, well, there we go, man. Oliver Queen, he done right there.
Gone too soon.
How about the but how about the episode 2 on Batwoman?
See, this is, I gotta say, I enjoyed it. I'll be honest. I enjoyed all 3 episodes so far, but I think this was the weakest of the 3 episodes. So basically they had a few plots going here. You had the team. So they introduced the Paragon plot, which apparently, watching, there's like this Talking Dead type show that they have with Kevin Smith. Mm-hmm. And I guess Mark Guggenheim explains this plot was kind of like from a JSA JLA crossover they did before Crisis, which I wouldn't mind trying to go back and read, but it's just kind of, he basically called it a MacGuffin straight up. And so they got this Paragon plot where they need to find Paragons and this stuff. There's 7 of them. So they start to introduce like the first 3 of the 7, basically explaining who these people are. And I think they basically outright say that, I can't remember because I've watched a lot of them in a row. I think they explained that Supergirl is definitely one of the Paragons. I think at this time they kind of let you know Martian Manhunter is too. And then there's a mystery Bat Paragon. Oh, I'm sorry. It's actually they're explaining one of the Superman who's lost more than any mortal man can lose. So they have this MacGuffin plot basically. Meanwhile, you have Mia. She's trying to figure out how to get Oliver back. So they start researching Lazarus pits, and they figure out the only one left in existence is in like 1800 Wild West somehow for some reason. That was like the most outlandish random plot to me. So that way they give, I think, White Canary, Mia Smoke, and of all people, Flash needs something to do. I don't know why Barry needs to be forced into this C-plot storyline of all characters. But the best plot is where you have to go find there's a crew trying to find a Superman. So you have Iris, Lois, and Superman. Our Superman, Tyler Hoechlin. They're trying to find the Paragon Superman, basically. And then the other plot, I'm trying to think if I missed any plots at this point because there's so many things going on, is there's just everybody else on the ship. So you have John Kent, the baby, who has to be watched by this alternate Earth heat wave. And then you get Whitworth Miller is the voice of this Wave Rider ship.
Wave Rider, yeah.
I marked out huge for that. Was one of my favorite parts of the whole crossover, just hearing that snarky Captain Cold the whole time. What'd you think about that?
Dude, Captain Cold voicing the ship instead of the classic Gideon was freaking awesome. He was like, yeah. You know, in Heat Wave, Mick was getting all pissed and everything.
Yep.
I freaking love that. And what was cool about that was when that baby landed, you know, it landed in 2049, but
we forgot to mention that in the first.
So you got to see old man Oliver Queen.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was kind of sad because, of course, last episode we got teary-eyed because he died. Now he's back. He's 55 or 60. You know, and, you know, he had the baby, but they took the baby and, you know, did all that good stuff. And that's when Mick was the best babysitter for that baby. But let me go back to the old 1800s because, man, I'm with you. I mean, they could have, I know why they did it. They wanted to give Jonah Hex some love. And don't get me wrong, I'm a humongous Jonah Hex fan. But this guy, man, he was clean, man. He hadn't been messed up yet. I was hoping he'd be all having the little piece of skin hanging in between the mouth and everything. But I did like how Sarah Lance, she got up to him and pinned him down with that knife. She says, "Hey, you don't got a scar yet, but I can give you one right now." You know,
he started singing like a canary, pun intended.
I know, right? I thought that was freaking awesome. But go back to what episode was the one that had the Smallville Superman and Lois?
That's actually in this episode. So we got the Superman plot, and then the other plot I haven't mentioned yet because there's
that's that plot. Yeah,
is you have the Supergirl Batwoman trying to find the Bat.
Yeah.
Then they end up going to, I think it's Earth 99. And then the other team with the Superman, they start on Earth 220,000, whatever. It's some random number. I guess from a World's Finest issue I wasn't aware of. But the Superman plot starts off. You have the team of three. They go and find Tom Welling's Smallville Clark Kent. He's just working on a farm. It looks like he's working up a sweat, and Heckling Superman's like, I could do that with one hand. Why is this guy using an axe if he's supposed to be Superman? And before they can get any answers, they all disappear.
Yeah, and it's like they just left because the thing was that stupid Lex Luthor character took that Book of Eternity or whatever that book is.
Here's where I think I'm going to disagree with everyone. One of my favorite characters in this whole thing has been Lex Luthor. I love it. Like, it's the guy who was played like, what was it, like Otis or whatever his name was in Superman 3. And then he's the guy from 2.5 Men. And holy crap, he is doing a phenomenal Lex Luthor, I think. Like Kevin Smith said it in his whatever that show is called, like After Crisis or whatever.
Yeah.
That is the best incarnation of live action Lex he's ever seen. And honestly, I kind of don't disagree so far. I'm having a lot of fun with Lex Luthor.
That was funny because when you mentioned that and you said that Superman 4, that Quest for Peace one, that was like Luthor's nephew or something, right?
Yeah,
like funny hair. And my God, I didn't put two and two together there, man. That is great. But yeah, he was a really good, just kind of bastard character. You just want to punch in the face and stuff. But Oh man, yeah. So he's going around trying to kill all the Superman, and he did kill some of them from what we've seen. But tell me about that Batwoman, man, trying to find the bat.
Yeah, so they go to Earth 99. They knock on the door, and was it Luke Fox answers the door with like half a shirt on, basically for some reason,
with a gun
weird.
and stuff. Yeah, looking totally like buff, got the abs going.
That was pretty random. But once again, it kind of goes back to what I said about Supergirl, that the shoehorn in a character or two from the actual show they're on. And I think that was how they got Luke Fox worked in there. So they at least got one of the actors in the show. And then they showed like a picture of Alice Slater. So I guess that was her credit for that episode. But yeah, they go in and they kind of meet this version of Batman. It's played by Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
And he's in this like half mech suit from Kingdom Come, basically. So what did you think about Kevin Conroy? I know you posted a picture earlier today on our personal feed of you meeting Kevin Conroy.
I had Conroy, man. The Conroy, but first, you had the classic voice of Conroy. I mean, it don't get no better than hanging with Kevin Conroy, with the legend with the long hair and not a lot of white in the beard. That's me and old Kev, man. Me and Batman and the Legend right there. And Winston, Ernie Hudson. I should have stayed and got Ernie Hudson's autograph, but my back was so sore on Saturday. It was 2013. My brother got me the 3-day tickets. This was pre-press releases or press passes, and I didn't go back Sunday. But Conroy, great guy. But when you hear that voice of Conroy, you immediately get thrown back in time to the Batman animated series. And what I loved about the CW, the way they did some of these characters, they would put little interludes in the music. So you would hear the da-da-da-da-da, the little Danny Elfman type stuff. And you would hear these little themes to some of the throwbacks, man. Even, we'll talk about it in the third episode, the throwback to the original Flash. I was telling he would, my grandma used to love the Flash show from the 90s. And God, it just brought back memories of me going over to her house, spending the night and watching that show. But it's just insane with all those little deals. But man, Kevin Conroy, they had great discussion. He talked about how he lost Kate and Beth to whatever. I don't know what he lost them to, but he was filled with riddles because by the time Supergirl found out, or maybe it was Kate, I don't remember, but he had a little trophy case going on, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And man, when
you kind of go through that trophy case, you get
Joker's card, the Riddler cane. They had a little snow globe for Victor Freeze. Probably a lot more stuff. I was just amazed by Conroy. I was just like,
the plot twist was the set of glasses with a bullet hole through the glasses.
Yeah. Damn. So you think that was probably one of those kryptonite gimmicks?
Yeah, he made a kryptonite bullet to guarantee it. So, that was my biggest. I don't know if I want to call it a letdown, but if you're going to introduce Kevin Conroy for his first time ever in live action Batman role, I hate to use wrestling terms for the non-wrestling fans out there, but that's just the way I talk. Why would you bring him in as a heel?
Yeah, I wanted him with the. I don't mind the exo suit, from the Kingdom Come, but I wanted him to have the cowl on. I wanted him to kind of help Kate because, damn, Kate's, so Batwoman only one season, but Kate, she wants Bruce to come back. We all want him back. But of course, it wouldn't be Batwoman, I guess, if he came back. But and then, he tried to punch Supergirl, and, he got a good little punch or whatnot, but man, one punch, and then old Batwoman just gave him a kick, and he got electrocuted.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
Bruce Wayne, that's a terrible death for Bruce Wayne. He just electrocuted.
Man, old Conroy, man, he was just too crippled over the years, man, and he didn't have it in him. But the voice, man, the voice,
stunt double or something.
Yeah, the voice was good enough, so it was cool seeing old Conroy in that episode, man. And then of course you find out she gets back to the Wave Rider, and then he's like, well, I couldn't get Conroy with us, he was gone too soon. And then of course he was like, oh well, you were the one all along. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I was like,
Monitor's
seriously?
always playing them tricks, man.
You had to find out who she was. I mean, I was totally cool with the fact that she was revealed as this paragon of courage, because if there's one courageous person, it's definitely Batwoman. Because once again, on that Kevin Smith show, they're making some good points on why she should be the paragon of courage. You know, she's dealing with, you know, everything going on with her sister. She's dealing with PTSD and all this, you know, blowback from her sexuality and that stuff. So it takes a lot of courage to have to be Batwoman.
It
So
sure does.
totally great that she's the paragon of courage. However, I didn't need to go to another Earth for a third of the episode to figure this all out. Especially like my one hope though for Kevin Conroy is it seemed like Kate recognized Kevin Conroy as Bruce Wayne. So that tells me that on Earth 1, Kevin Conroy is also Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get to see a face version of Kevin Conroy's Bruce Wayne / Batman at one point, hopefully.
Dude,
once this is all said and done.
I hope so, man, because I love Kevin Conroy. It's high time he puts a cowl on, even if it's a stunt double or whatever. But that would be so cool to have him like kicking some ass in Kevlar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another thing was that old the Hope. What do you call them? Paradiamonds?
Paragons, I believe.
Paragon. I almost said parademon. No, the Paragon of Hope. You know, when you had the Superman go against the old Brandon Routh Superman, you know, and how he pointed, he said some castaway or some loser gassed all of the Daily Planet. And then, of course, in Memorial, he had all those things on the wall. And then Lex used that dang book to pit both Superman against each other. That kind of gave me one of those Injustice 2 vibes, you know, or the Injustice game vibes.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good fight. Did you like that battle? Those Superman fighting?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of, well, I think it just stems from Kingdom Come and Injustice stealing, or not stealing, but paying homage more to Kingdom Come, especially like, I think, I don't know if they really even showed it in the final cut, but at least in the trailer, they showed this paper clip of the page where the Daily Planet gets gassed, and I believe it's an actual panel from Kingdom Come, because definitely you could see that Alex Ross style art in there of the green smoke rising out of the Daily Planet. So they definitely alluded to what happened in Kingdom Come happened to the Brandon Routh movie Superman. So yeah, Lex Luthor, that snake, is Real Comic Talk called him in the chat. Perfect word for him. He's using that book kind of like they did to Tyler Hoechlin's Superman last year, where they kind of turned him into that black suit Superman. This year, they used the book that turned Kingdom Come Superman into basically do Lex's bidding. He's like, I'm tired of killing these Supermen myself. I want to see a Superman kill a Superman, and I'm going to kill that Superman. So he starts having a fight, but luckily, Iris and Lois are both there. They're talking him down, and then finally he snaps out of it.
Did you see that Superman 2 semblance of the two chicks looking out the window at, you know, remember how Superman 2 had Zod and Christopher Reeves fighting? And they're looking out the window and staring out the window just like Lois and her other co-reporter was. I mean, I was getting like all kinds of like throwbacks, and that was the coolest thing about the CW shows, where they were doing a lot of little homages to just the stuff we grew up watching, you know?
Oh, yeah. And, you know, that's what they've been saying all along, is this is basically written by a lot of fans, and you can tell it.
How about this chat, Carson? What do you think about the chat?
Oh, yeah, let's get into this chat here. So Samuel David, he's still hanging with us since the beginning, so thank you so much, man. He says that battle was cool between the two Supermen. We still got Fist Tropic saying give those thumbs up. Thank you so much. We got, so my voice is slowly coming back, so I'll try to give him one. We got the Mastodon. He's on both sides of the coin tonight. We got him on Facebook. We got him on that YouTube. So thank you, Don, for joining us on both avenues. Definitely appreciate it. We got Real Comic Talk. He is not a fan of Batwoman. Sorry, Legend. I know that's one of your shows.
I love that one. I think it's pretty good.
And then we still got the Uncanny Kyle Walker hanging out in the chat. Him and Donnie are talking. And here's one of your favorites, one of mine too. We got Double S in the chat. He says, what up to Great Legend and the Corky Seawood. He always has nicknames for me.
Why are you calling you Corky? Remember that one show? What was that show called? My sister used to watch old Corky in it. Corky was learning to drive the park. I think he hit like a damn pole or whatever. What was that show? Do you remember that old show?
I know what you're talking about, but I can't put my
Life Goes On or something like that.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, was it Empty Nest? Was that it?
No, Empty Nest was that one with them old people, wasn't it? I don't know.
Theme song, I think.
Remember these old shows?
But we got Bob.
Oh my God, Bob! Man, what is going on?
How thankful we are for him giving us those awesome graphics and everything. The bumpers you see on the Comic Core shows, that's all Bob World. So definitely give this guy over here some love. He's one of the best.
Man, I do love Bob World. I've been chatting, but been checking in on Bob World this week, sending him some good messages. And Bob, we hope you're doing good, and we're so glad you're watching, man. And I hope, Bob, you've been watching the CW because the shows have been just killing it lately. Man.
Yeah,
absolutely. How about remember the point where he comes out of the Lazarus pit, and so immediately Sarah tranks him, because she's of course been in the pit. Roy, she knows Roy and Speedy, they've all been in the pit. Yep. So they're going to work on getting his soul back. So we kind of go into part 3, Carson.
Yep. So
what's your thoughts on number 3?
So after we get over the whole Lazarus pit thing, we have a feral Oliver Queen who has no soul. Basically, he doesn't have a soul, so he's just going to try to kill everything he sees. He's bloodthirsty. That's what the Lazarus pit does to you. Mm-hmm. So going into part 3, you still kind of have this. I think it's just then we get Diggle finally.
Diggle
after all the time, someone finally was like, "Hey, Diggle, it's Crisis. What are you doing?" And he's like, apparently they use the subplot. Diggle's watching the kid. This is where I have another issue. So he's not in the first 2 episodes because he's watching the kid. What? Who was watching the kid the rest of Arrow? They had 8 episodes of Arrow where Lila was Harbinger. Diggle's hopping around multiverses with Oliver. So that means there's no parents watching this kid. And just now, when the skies get red, they're finally watching this kid. Really, that's the best they could come up with as an excuse not to have him on the show.
Man.
So I'm glad at least we finally got him in the Flash, because I was fairly don't tell me they're saving him for Arrow at this point, because that's not even until next year.
You get a lot of Flash love. You get Pariah comes in, and everyone knows him from the comics. One of the more annoying characters for me in Crisis on Infinite Earths comic, because he's always screaming. He always has to watch all the worlds die, and we find out the little scene was Nash Wells going through that little doorway, but that wasn't the monitor. That was actually the anti-monitor leading him in, doing some of those Jedi tricks on him. So that kind of, he got those powers, but he's destined to watch the destruction of all the worlds. So you get Nash, you got Vibe, you get
Killer Frost.
And you get Elongated Man. And what did you think about the line when Elongated Man comes in and he says something stupid, and then Killer Frost says this is his first crossover?
Yeah, they just kind of don't care about that wall at this point. They did the same thing in the first episode with the Legends, where Sarah's just I promised the Legends they wouldn't have to do another crossover, basically saying we couldn't get the characters, and we don't like them anyway here at the CW. They're off the rails over on their own show. We don't need them over here causing all this fuss. We don't even want the same dang Wave Rider at this point. We don't need the same voice actress at this point.
We're going to borrow the Wave Rider. The Wave Rider of all the retired Legends, and it's just Mick Rory drinking the damn beers and Snart's voice on the comms. Man,
I'd probably rather watch that show, to be honest.
Yeah, just Mick drinking in the season. Frost or Captain Cold on the comm.
But back to episode 3. I think this was the strongest episode of all 3, because finally, it seems like they put Grant Gustin Flash on the back burner for the first 2 episodes. He didn't really do a lot even in the first episode. They kind of just had him in the action scenes and that stuff, fighting the shadow demons.
Mm-hmm.
But they were really just saving him for this episode. You really get to see him shine, even though it's his own series. But I really enjoyed the whole plot where him and his team, they need to go figure out what's going on with the anti-monitor's room on Earth, basically.
Yeah.
And then, they basically get Cisco his vibe powers back.
Mm-hmm. Monitor gives him those vibe powers.
Yeah. And then they figure out how to get through the door. They get in there and they see the cosmic treadmill. And who's on that cosmic treadmill? I knew as soon as I saw that treadmill, it's it's got to be
John. Barry Allen. Was it Barry Allen from Earth 90 or whatever year the Flash TV show was out way back when?
You got it exactly right. Yeah.
Oh man, I love that stuff. So the old man was running on the treadmill, and of course, Flash tries to go through it with his speed force, trying to phase through it. And the dude waves him off, kind of like the damn paying homage to Flash. This final season one
That's
thing.
exactly what I was thinking. Yeah,
wave himself away. So, but he goes in and does that. And dude, I mean, the thing is, you find out that there's the damn fail safe, man.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, isn't it Pariah that goes and grabs Jefferson Pierce from Freeland? You got Black Lightning. And Black Lightning, that one, this season, Black Lightning's probably been my favorite season. I love season 1. Season 2, kind of a little drop off for me. But this season of Black Lightning is freaking killer. And I love the Batwoman. But Black Lightning, man, it was so good to see freaking Jefferson Pierce. Of course, sad too, because, Lynn and Nissa and God, I can't remember the other girl's name. But anyway, man, lightning and thunder, and there you find out that their Earth has been destroyed. So that's kind of sad because Jefferson Pierce, big time family man, just amazing values for a human being. And to find out that when his family dies off, and in Black Lightning, every episode is all about family on that show. So you get him, and they get him to destroy the whole freaking thing. But, they find out that he's got to get back on the damn treadmill again,
Yep. Yeah, so
soon, man.
Basically, this treadmill is the only thing holding Earth One together at this point.
Then they reverse. They're able to reverse the treadmill and run it backwards to kind of like taper the antimatter wave off, and then so he's running backwards on the treadmill to power that, and then that was originally what we thought Barry Allen Earth One's fate was to be, just disappearing, running fast. But the cool thing is we got to see the little homage from the early 90s Flash where Barry saying goodbye to Tina was her name in that show. But it's same actor, but man, to get the rights to use that. And then, of course, personal emotions. My grandma passed away just a couple of years back. But every time, like when I was down in South Texas where she lived, we always watched that show together, and she loved that actor that played that Flash. So, man, it was kind of sad to see that guy gone too soon,
Yeah, and then, I mean, it was like basically what happens in the show is Barry of Earth One, he's ready to make his sacrifice.
Yeah.
He knows it's been coming since, season 1 of The Flash. So he's been ready to do this for a long time. He hugs his friends. He gets ready to tell Vibe to vibe him in there so they can finish the job. And then Wesley Ships Flash puts his hand on him. He goes, "I'm sorry, buddy." And then he's like, "You haven't learned this trick yet, but you will sometime." He steals his Speed Force powers, basically. Yeah. And that way it gives him the power finally to do what needs to be done. And, you get him in there. You get the flashback scene. You get that music cue.
Oh, yeah, from the original show.
It's probably the most powerful scene they've made, in my opinion, so far. And I think it's really cool because, once again, going back to that Kevin Smith show, him and John Wesley Shipp were talking, and he was saying it was really cool to be able to come back and finally give closure to his version of The Flash because they got canceled way back when, and he never really had the chance to get any finality for his version of the character. And now this crisis has finally given him the ability to do that.
Get that closure for that character. And that actor's a great actor. He's been, kind of one of those actors who comes and goes through the Flash season, but, being Barry's dad, Henry Allen or whatever and all that good stuff. I mean, that's just that was a great scene because Barry, no matter what, when he runs into that character, he always, thinks of his dad and, there's that emotional impact again of family. And with all these CW actors and superheroes and stuff like that, the best thing that makes that show is how they always overcome the odds, no matter what happens. And that's what it's all about, and I love that aspect about the show. There's a couple little, ones we didn't go over yet before we get into the more magical realm of trying to bring Oliver Queen's soul back. But we got to see Birds of Prey love. We got to see the Huntress,
right?
CW Birds of Prey. That was an opener on one of the shows. And then another opener was Will Wheaton doing the whole Watchmen.
Will Wheaton way back
doing that holding the sign into the world, kind of giving a little Watchman kind of.
Is that Will Beaton? I just wish someone would have shut up and just said, "Shut up, Wesley."
Yeah. So man, there's like so much goodness out of these first 3 episodes. But Carson, tell me about this. I never watched this Lucifer show, but Real Comic Book Talk wanted us to. They said they liked the Lucifer scene on Earth 666. Oh hell, the beast system right there.
It's the Netflix show. I haven't had a chance to catch it either, but it's the version of Lucifer from the Sandman comics, the Neil Gaiman stuff. So I definitely want to check it out at some point. So they have the whole the main other subplot of this show, besides the Batwoman, Supergirl, which thank goodness at least that was dialed back in this episode, because they kind of had their exposure in the first.
We didn't need no Dark Knight Returns, Kryptonite fight again.
No, I'm glad that they just glossed over that pretty quickly. But the other main subplot, they're still trying to figure out how can we get Oliver back to help with the crisis. And they go to Lucifer's Earth 666. They get this card that grants them access into Oliver's purgatory, basically. Mm-hmm. So you have the team of Constantine or Constantine as you have Diggle and you have Mia Smoke again. Like I said, she's basically the wrestling term again. She's your Roman Reigns' crossover. They're trying to push her to the point where it's just pushing her up your throat because she's got a show coming that you need to watch, according to the CW. But anyway, the version of Purgatory turns out to be Lian Yu, the island we watched for 5+ years on Arrow. And they go there. It takes them a minute. They fight and find Oliver. He's still a feral, crazy soul trapped in purgatory, but luckily Diggle's there to basically talk him out of it. They talk him out of it. He's like, okay, thanks. You guys came to purgatory. That's awesome. Should have brought my daughter, but thank you for coming anyway. And then who shows up out of nowhere? Jim Corrigan, Spectre.
Somebody call Israel, man, because the Spectre was there. Jim Corrigan, you got a little, well, I used to be a police officer. You got like a real
30 seconds to explain everything about my origin.
Yeah, dude. And, he had the little green in his eyes and things like that. And that was pretty cool. But the thing is, we still don't really know, much about Oliver's fate, because Oliver told the gang that came to rescue him, says, my mission's still not done. I need to stay here, blah, blah, blah. But what was cool, Arrow already had a green hood on. So, I mean, if Oliver's going to be the Spectre for a little while, I mean, at least that will be pretty damn cool. And, you never know. The one thing about the Kingdom Come comics, we had the Spectre be the guide to that preacher. So it's kind of like, so many little hidden things and so many like answers we're not going to know until we get to finish these last 2 episodes. Man.
So, I mean, if I was the showrunners, this is my one criticism of the 3rd episode, because like I said, it's my favorite. I wish they would have cut down even further on the Supergirl Batwoman plot, because like I said, first 2 episodes, they got a lot of those too, which is cool. They have good chemistry together. But I wish they would have cut a few more minutes off of that and gave Jim Corrigan a little bit more screen time, because he literally comes from left field and explains who he is in like the matter of 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. If you're not a comic book fan, you're kind of familiarizing yourself with Spectre for the first time. Who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, who's Jim Corrigan?
To my knowledge, unless I missed him on a show, you've never seen Jim Corrigan prior. He was cast for Crisis. So either... I hope they explain a little bit more down the line, because if you're the casual viewer, you're probably confused as all hell what's going on with Jim Corrigan.
Yeah, dude. When that dude said Jim Corrigan, I was like, Spectre, that's a Spectre. My wife Brady, she don't know who the fuck Spectre. She might be able to pick him out if I showed him on a cover of a book or something, but she didn't know who the hell Jim Corrigan was or whatever. God, gone too soon, man.
Yeah, it at least kind of reminds me of when they made Hal Jordan the Spectre in the comics. So,
for Blackest Night or something, right?
Yeah, basically he did the whole Parallax heel turn run, and to redeem himself during the final night where the sun blacked out the DC universe, he used all of his Parallax powers to reignite the Earth's sun. Mm-hmm. So when he made that noble sacrifice, it actually made him the Spectre, because the Spectre realized that Jim Corrigan ran his course.
Yeah.
So that's
so
how
maybe now Arrow will have to do the same thing, I guess, for a little while.
Yeah. So, like I said, there was that third subplot with Batwoman and Supergirl, where basically Supergirl wants to use the Book of Shadows or whatever it's called in this one. And
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Batwoman's like, no.
I don't know what
Yeah,
they
I
call
think
it.
that might be it. So basically,
remember the Spirit of Destiny. The Legends went after that one time. They always get these weird magical gimmicks.
Yep. The Batwoman's like, that could result in losing you, and you're one of the Paragons. We can't sacrifice a Paragon at the risk of you using this book, and it's probably not going to work anyway.
Mm-hmm.
She threatens to use the kryptonite that she got from evil Kevin Conroy Batman. But probably the best scene they had in the whole crossover was that last scene they had together where she kind of has one last conversation about the book. You can't use it, and here's why. It's Supergirl. She stands up to Supergirl, like face to face, like kind of like Batman would stand up to Superman. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, Batgirl like settles down, and then Batwoman fully explains what's going on with her having the kryptonite piece and that stuff. And Supergirl seems to respect that in turn. But she actually wants to give the kryptonite to Supergirl so she can get rid of it. And Supergirl's like, you probably should just keep that so we maintain our trust.
And so you never know with the
finest part right there.
With the dark side, magic side of things, what if, you saw it how both Superman were fighting. That book can easily make Supergirl evil, and then that will be Batwoman's like wild card, or get out of jail free card.
All right, so that basically takes us to the wrap up of the episode, where you finally have everyone on the same ship together, going over how they were successful avoiding the wave and how they were unsuccessful getting Oliver back. And that's where Lila shows up in full Harbinger, of course. She finally gets to see hubby Deagle, and they're hugging and stuff at each other. But I think it's Barry who's just like, that's the Anti-Monitor, and her eyes start glowing white. She has that Cheshire Cat grin form on her face, like the Grinch who stole Christmas. Damn. And she immediately goes after the Monitor in one of the biggest callbacks of the comics.
Dude, and when they did that was a great freaking scene. Not that, of course, Monitor ends up dying, but, the cool thing about the comics is, Harbinger knows that is the fate. I even think Monitor probably knows that's his own fate, really, but, fate just has to take its course, and he goes down, man. And then, of course, she's wanting to just kill everyone else, but old Pariah's there to zap the most important ones to the that zone where it's in between space and time.
Yeah, it was on like their negative zone. I don't know what they.
Yeah, kind of like a negative zone.
Point, actually.
Yeah, the vanishing point. That was the name of Vanishing Point, to where that was where one of the places where the Legends of Tomorrow could go to stay protected from any weird timelines that would get destroyed. So that was really cool there. But then people like Iris and some of those characters, just got freaking wiped out by that antimatter energy. So we get to the vanishing point, and then all of a sudden, Carson, man, our Brandon Rouse Superman just starts getting all this red crap appearing on him. Why don't you take it from there, man?
I popped big time for this scene. I'll be honest. I was watching it 3 a.m. before I had to go to work, and I literally started laughing out loud, almost cheering. It's so random and crazy. Like, so you see Brandon Rouse Superman, he turns red, and he just starts going, fix it, or something like that. And Supergirl's like there, like, no. And then he turns into Lex Luthor. He gets up, he goes, oh my God, that actually worked. And he has like his own version of the book now. And he has like that paper of the Paragons, and just crossed out the Superman crest, wrote Lex Luthor on it. And that's where it ended. And oh my God, I marked out huge for this part.
Yeah, it ended there, and then you had the credits. It's like, oh my God, Luthor does that again. One thing we didn't talk about was Iris's job to get old Eugene. Was it Eugene Chol?
Oh, yeah, the new Adam.
The new Adam. And, so kind of just from rumor and innuendo. You got to love old Bruce and old and Conrad. But yeah, so you had the rumor and innuendo that old Brandon Routh's probably going to be leaving, so they need to get another Adam. So this was a good way for Iris to kind of get another human, not necessarily a superhuman, but get another human along to do, you know, the right thing and stuff like that. So look for some more new school Adam by the end of this season. So that'll be interesting. I mean, he'll probably be in Legends of Tomorrow then, I guess, if something happens to Ray Palmer, you know.
Yep. So that wraps up pretty much our quick review. I had a couple questions for the panel.
Yeah,
we are the panel now, so I'll with you, I guess. So my first question is, like, I guess who is your, like, do you have a list of favorite characters or characters you thought really shown through more than anybody in this special?
All right, for this thing, hands down, number one, because I have been enjoying Arrow, has got to be just the Stephen Amell Green Arrow character. Love me some Arrow, man. I mean, like, it just really hits you in the feels when you know, like, man, this is like last season of Arrow, so you know something's going. But I hope he has a good send off. But anyway, yeah, I love Arrow on there. Black Lightning, surprise. Like, even though it was just for, you know, like I said, I've been watching all of his show. I love, you know, Painkiller and White Whale. Tobias Wells, just an asshole. I hate that guy so much. I love Lala on there as a bad guy because he's doing good. But Jefferson Pierce's character, I mean, just good acting, like just a good father figure. Like, he's the dad, like every kid, you know, if you have a broken home or like a shitty family environment. My dad's awesome. He's my best friend, so I don't have that problem. But if I did have a shit dad, I would want my dad to be like Jefferson Pierce, because he just is a good-hearted person. So I love me some Jefferson Pierce, Black Lightning. Wish Jonah Hex had a little bit more in there. And then let me pick one more. I really liked old Brandon Routh's Superman.
Yeah.
You know, when he explained, you know, why'd you change your emblem or whatever? And he said, well, because hope, you know, which the big S in Krypton stands for hope, that the red S, you know, even like hope even goes through the darkness or is above blackness or, you know, the dark times. You always have hope. And that kind of goes into, how Barry has always been in the comics. You know, Barry's always had hope in the comics, hence the classic Blue Lantern ring and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But
Blackest Night.
So I guess my favorite four, and I do love Batwoman, but the thing that sucked about Batwoman in this whole series is she's tied too much to freaking Kara or whatever, or in the Supergirl. Yeah. I really like Arrow, Black Lightning, the Brandon Ross Superman, and Barry Allen.
Yeah. So I'll answer my favorites. So I'll go over my favorites, and then I got another. We're going the exact opposite. We're going to go characters that got done dirty. So first, I'll go over my favorites, and then we'll go over that list. So I'll allow you to think about a few while I'm doing that. My first one, I got to pick Lois.
Damn.
So the character who played Lois, it's like she's been a part of these shows the whole time. She fit in extremely well throughout this whole thing. It's like she's been on, you know, Arrow and Flash and Supergirl. And she's really before this only made one appearance as the character. So, I mean, I really like their casting of Lois. It makes me look forward to their upcoming show. I think they're going to have maybe the best CW show when that thing comes out. I can't wait for that at this point.
That's going to be good.
Because I think, you know, the actress they cast as Lois has done a phenomenal job. I already talked about him once. I'll talk about it again. John Cryer's Lex Luthor. Man, that guy... It's supposed to be just a one-off from what I heard, but I could tell he's doing such a good job. They're going to keep bringing this guy back. Me and Chad were talking previously about, you know, because we were kind of watching it together as well as we could. And we were talking like, you know, it's unfortunate they can't just have a Justice League show with these actors.
Yeah.
Because you already have the main bad guy of your season one. That'd just be Lex Luthor, because this guy's doing such a good job. He could be a foil for that whole team.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
old season villain right there.
Been one of my favorite characters through the whole thing. Got to mention Earth 90 Flash. They did a phenomenal job with his scene. Probably the most standout, best scene in the whole crossover so far.
One of the saddest ones too.
And then if I had to pick one more, I kind of want to say Batwoman, to be honest. I think, I've been kind of harsh on her show. I don't like it as much as you do, obviously.
Dude, I love that show.
And trying to watch it, maybe read some of her comics at the same time. But I feel like the Ruby Rose has that character down pat. That is like ripping that character off the page and putting it into TV form, basically. So huge credit for them, but not only completely nailing the look of the character. It's the most comic accurate in terms of looks on the screen, but I see just Kate Kane when she's on that screen.
I do too. I love that character. I love what they're doing with that show, with the Beth thing, and how, it took forever for her dad to finally realize that, yeah, that's freaking Beth. Beth is Alice, and that's the Alice and the crazy ass Wonderland gang. But really phenomenal show. And that's another kind of little tearjerker show, how the stepmom drank the, they had to do that sacrifice thing with the stepsister and everything. Hey, I want to give a big shout out. We got Strictly Comics up in the chat here, and he says he likes that Ninja Turtle shirt. And
everybody likes this hoodie.
Another guy that likes that Ninja Turtle shirt is our brother Houdat Comics and Movies, who just come as hot off the heels of his auction tonight. He had a great auction with him in Discovery Bay, and they were kicking ass in there. And Houdat had a sweet ass Spider-Man, is it Spidey Booth unboxing? Spider-Man Booth books. He had a big time, I ain't gonna say the key, but it's a big time Spider-Man key. And he had one of Todd McFarlane's first solo Spider-Man little run, with issue 1 of that classic. He came in a freaking poly bag back in the 90s. Torment. Classic Lizard storyline, probably one of the greatest. You remember the issue where Lizard just had his mouth open really big, like a damn.
Oh yeah,
that was good art by McFarlane there.
But, that's some of the first comics I ever started collecting on the Marvel
good storyline. Of course, I had to sell mine in an auction. But what was another good question for our big panel tonight?
So we're like characters who got done dirty, basically. So we're going the opposite direction. So we highlighted the characters we loved, but now I think we're going to highlight some of the characters that we love, but for whatever reason they just haven't shown yet, or haven't really shined as much as they should have. And number one for me, I think's got to be Barry Allen Flash of Earth One, because he basically sat out 2 of the 3 episodes, in my opinion. That first episode, he was kind of just there for the action to help fight shadow demons. He didn't really have a lot to add or say during a lot of that. And then the second one, he was just pouting about Oliver making the sacrifice.
Oh, yeah.
And then he went for the whole C subplot of the Lazarus Pit thing, which, if you're going to, that's such a waste of that character, in my opinion. But at least he got some justice back in episode 3. That was his episode, obviously. But it's still one of your biggest characters you have at your disposal, and a huge crisis character as well. So for him to kind of sit out almost 2 of what's going to be the 5 episodes was a bit disappointing to me.
Yeah.
Next up, obviously for me, it's Conroy Batman. I was pumped for it ever since I heard he was cast and everything. I'm like, oh my God, he's finally going to get to play the character. And it was awesome seeing him, of course. I'm not going to say I wouldn't want him in this, because he was still awesome. But I just didn't like the way they wrote his character. I felt like it was like the Comics Explained version of Batman. He loves collecting him. Some Batman with guns and all that good stuff. So it's just such a weird way to take that character, especially when you have Kevin Conroy cast for the first time ever in live action, to make him this bad guy heel Batman was a little weird to me. I'm trying to think of who else. Of course, I gotta say Jonah Hex. I'm sorry, because hopefully, as someone in the chat said, I think it was a Real Comic Talk once again saying that he's going to be in it more, which I hope so. But so far, he was in a 30-second scene, and he got his ass whipped by White Canary. So he hadn't done too much. And then my last pick, definitely Jim Corrigan. He literally had 30 seconds by the time it was all said and done to explain why he was there, what he was doing, and he's already being replaced by Oliver Queen. So I was kind of hoping, like, once I heard the Spectre was kind of like, cool, we're going to get to see his whole run with the Spectre, Jim Corrigan, but he's probably not even going to be in more than one more episode, is my guess. Because by episode 5, I'm guessing Oliver's going to be the Spectre then.
Yeah, I'm going to give a shout out to Real Comic Book Talk, because White Canary, Sarah Lance, right now she just doesn't have it doesn't seem like a big role. Of course, she tried to drink. I think she drank a shot and tried to get Supergirl and Batwoman to drink a shot and just kind of do some chilling, and everything like that. But they just wouldn't take no for the answer. And, of course, little Mia wanted to do the Lazarus Pit gimmick on Oliver. But mine, I'm going to go with, I was going to say.
I didn't even say Diggle either.
Diggle would have been a good one.
Episodes for apparently a kid doesn't need to be watched.
I'm hoping so far, though, I got to go Jonah Hex with me because that's one of my favorite just characters of all time. Elongated Man just didn't do anything.
Oh, yeah. Even on his own show, he kind of was just on the
He showed Choi. He showed Choi his power by like reaching for something, and that was about it. And of course, Caitlin Killer Frost made fun of him, saying this is his first crossover. One of the main ones. So, Real Comic Book Talk said Sarah Lance. So, as far as the legends go, I mean, you have Ray Palmer, and he's actually done a lot in there, as far as his acting and, getting stuff and building stuff. But freaking Heatwave hadn't even fired off the fire gun yet, I don't think. He's had the damn baby the whole time.
Yeah, you could definitely say Heatwave.
I mean, that really sucked because, I mean, I know, they use him as kind of a Neanderthal comedy relief, and he loves writing those romance novels, but damn, they should have used him more, and I just wish they never would have killed the original Earth One Snart off, or, the sacrifice he made in the first Legends of Tomorrow. That sucks.
In all the CW versus that.
And I'm hoping the Superman, the Earth, the Argo guy, Superman, the regular Superman who's going to be with the Superman Lois show. I wish he had a little bit more. I mean, he was fighting with the Brandon Ross Superman, but we needed more of him just to be kick ass. I know they defended one of the towers, with their laser vision, or they defended something when the Red Sun came over.
Yeah, they were trying to reactivate the tower and like keep the wave away from Earth 38.
That's about all they had. Man.
As long as I in that universe, Supergirl is more powerful than Superman.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he was an Argo absorbing Red Sun. They could have at least explained that, but they didn't. I don't know.
They didn't do it. Now, and the last one has got to be the last boy on Earth.
Yeah.
Where's Commandy during all this?
He's still in the Great Disaster. Sitting on, he actually probably fell from the tower at this point. He's dead.
All they needed to do was have a blonde-haired kid, long blonde-haired kid with some cut-off blue jean shorts, man.
Put fucking Archie in a blonde wig and throw him on that set.
Get one of those kids. Get one of the Riverdales. Get Archie on there, man. Damn, KJ Kappa, or whatever his name is. Appa, KJ Appa or something. But, dude, those, I mean, so far, and we do have 2 more episodes left. Of course, it's going to be hard. These last ones are going to be on the same night when it comes back on. Arrow, which will be the grand finale of the Oliver Queen, and then the Legends of Tomorrow, which basically I really do believe they're going to finish everything up during the Arrow episode. And then the Legends of Tomorrow is just going to be some kind of little filler show to really get started on their season. I think they're going to probably do that. I hope they use the Legends of Tomorrow episode. Like, I hope they do 4 and 5 as just one big, long. I hope Oliver Queen has a lot. And we're supposed to see Felicity Smoke back. So,
yeah,
we'll see how it all goes, man. But I'm totally pumped, and I'm excited for that Arrow and the Legends of Tomorrow. And another cool thing is pretty soon, maybe even sometime this weekend, maybe Saturday, if we can somehow all get together, and if not next week sometime, we're going to be going over the Crisis on Infinite Earths issues 1 through 6. So we're going to be doing a little story time, a little, what do they call those? Book clubs.
Yeah, there we go. That'll work.
About the comic books. So I'm really excited for that, man. But that's about all I think. That's about all I got, Carson. How about you, man?
Well, yeah, actually, if we're talking about characters that got done dirty who weren't even in the crossover,
yeah.
I got to shout out my man he was in last year's crossover, not this year's. Psycho Pirate. Where's Psycho Pirate?
No Psycho Pirate.
Mariah Harbinger. I feel like you got to have Psycho Pirate. He's the guy who's like, there's a crisis looming, and then they had like the little head on the screen and everything. Like, oh, cool. Psycho Pirate. He's always a little bit fourth wall breaking, kind of like in that Morrison Animal Man run.
Yeah.
You don't even get 1 second of him this year, so that's my last pick for that. But I want to go over this chat one more time because we do have a question. So Samuel David says, did you guys mention Tom Welling? Did I miss it? Yeah, we just mentioned it real quick, but like Tom Welling's kind of cameo, we just talked about it for a couple seconds. So I definitely enjoyed seeing Welling on the screen again. I hope that is my one thing I hope for episode 5 when they start, because obviously people are coming back. Hopefully when they get everything straightened out, because the rumor has it there's a scene with 3 Supermen. So obviously, I think the third Superman, besides Kingdom Come Superman and Heckling Superman, would be Tom Welling. So hopefully, because he had that kind of look on his face when he was talking to Erica Durance, where she's like, "Oh, yeah, Lex Luthor stopped by, huh?" He said something about a crazy crisis. He kind of gives that look. He's just like, "Yeah, right." I
like that look.
Terrell Ghost at the Fortress of Solitude from Smallville, like, "Hey, Dad. There's a crisis. I need my powers back. Thanks." And then they'll argue, and then he'll get his powers back. So hopefully we haven't seen the last of Tom Welling. Maybe we have, maybe we haven't. But I would love to see, just imagine Spectre Oliver's there fighting. He's getting his ass whipped, and he's just like, "There's no way you can defeat me." He's like, "Me defeat you? I wasn't trying to defeat you. I was just a distraction." And then you hear the dun 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 dun. Then you do Superman music, and all and just whipping that ass, and then
we got a little bit of that old, was it John Williams, when they were flying around,
Oh yeah. So Samuel David, thanks for sticking with us here. Who Dat Comics Movie, Strictly Comics. We forgot to shout him out earlier. We had Silver Age Dave in the chat earlier.
Damn.
Stopped by, so there he is. And then Barbarian Kung Fu stopped by as well. I think we forgot to shout them out previously.
Barbarian, yeah.
And then, but yeah, Real Comic Tie, he's been with us for a long time. So thank you, man, for sticking around. So Legend, any final thoughts?
Well, out of all of the comic book channels that I'm sub to, Real Comic Book Talk is really the only one that goes over the entertainment shows, like whether that be the CW shows. They've done the TC Universe app shows like Titans and Swamp Thing and all that. I mean, so definitely if you're not subscribed to them, you not only get just shows, but you'll get the comics, you'll get all the pop culture with those guys, and you can catch them out over there on the Real Comic Book Talk, and that's Dan, Anthony, and Al. Man, man, I always mess with Al because Al don't like that Green Lantern, man. A C-list character, man. But no, great freaking show, and they have so much fun and camaraderie when they're together. So that's one of the best. But yeah, I'm just excited, man. Tomorrow night we've got Off the Freaking Rails. I haven't read any new books because I haven't found out what I get, or whatnot. I actually got some books that are coming this Saturday, but they're going to be back issues most likely of stuff that I've already read digitally. So, but it'll be good to get my physical copies. And then I've got this Sunday is the expiration date for Catrin Figures Holy Grail. I'm raising money on my channel. You could donate via streamlabs.com/rdotty95 or go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/rdotty95, and click on the About tab and then go to the donate button, because we are, I want to say, $30 or $20 away from getting her Holy Grail. And so what it is once that makes $50, I'll put in 50, so we'll have a total of $100, and then we get her Holy Grail Superman Adventures 5 first appearance of Livewire. So I got to do some game streams, a lot of game streams on Saturday, and hopefully raise that money up so we can get her Holy freaking Grail. But like I said, Friday we got Off the Rails. This Sunday, Carson, could you put the Strictly Comics thing up? This Sunday, we're going to be doing the 2019 Comic Book Community Hero Initiative Charity Auction. This is a live auction. This is the second annual Hero Initiative live charity auction that's taking place over on youtube.com/Strictly Comics, or just search for Strictly Comics on YouTube. It'll be the first channel that comes up. It's going to be 6 Central, 7 Eastern, and this Sunday is the big start of this auction. We have a ton of YouTube comic book community members donating items for the cause, and then you, the viewer, will bid on the items, try to win them. All 100% of the proceeds will be going to the Hero Initiative, which helps all of the old school comic book creators in need. So it's the Sunday the 15th, 22nd, and 29th, and I will be helping host the show on Sunday, the 15th. I'm going to stick around for about an hour on the charity auction because, the old back ain't what it used to be. You don't want me wearing that Kevin Conroy exoskeleton suit. But the deals are going to be awesome. They're going to be off the charts. All the auctions are going to be starting off at 99 cents. You got Edwin already said 90% of the items donated are going to be slabs. We know you folks love your slabs. We're going to have some original art donated. We got Brian B. from Take the Time Collectibles donating some stuff. We got Comicore is going to be donating some stuff. You are not going to want to miss out on this opportunity to get some great items at low starting bids. And remember, 100% of the proceeds to the Hero Initiative. And then other than that, Carson, hopefully maybe Saturday or next week for sure during kind of the break from the next Outside the Issues where we talk about Crisis episode 4 through 5. We'll be reviewing issues 1 through 6 here on the Comicore. So just stay tuned. Make sure you hit the bell icon, like, share, subscribe, so you'll know when the Comicore is live.
Yeah, and then also the clock is ticking. It's getting closer to midnight. This is the last show you'll be able to put hashtag Comicore Smash on. And there he is, right entered into the chat just in time. Drew Manchu got that and everything. Definitely go to every video posted from November 10th to this video today on the 12th and put hashtag Comicore Smash to enter in to Drew Manchu's Hulk action figure contest. So like I said, you guys got some catching up to do with Great Matter Hulk because I believe he is the #1 leader in entries right now. But it's going to be a random drawing, so you can do this maybe one time and win the whole thing. But hit Comicore Smash at the end of this video in the comments section, and then go back in any video between November 10th and tonight. Hashtag Comicore Smash gets you an entry into this contest. So big thanks to Drew for throwing that out there. But other than that, Legend, you want to sign us out, and then we'll go into the wonderful Bob World bumper here?
Yeah, man, definitely. Big shout out to Bob World again, who does all of the Comicore art, graphics, and video introductions and video outros, man. Make sure you subscribe to Bob World. He's one of the best in the community, most generous in the community, and just, God honest, great freaking guy. But fans, thank you so much tonight for watching Outside the Issues with this host over here, C. Woodard 19, and the great Legend always looking fine. And for the Comicore, we're saying peace out. God bless.